Really? Wow. Okay, Trump. To what do I owe the honor? More importantly, to whom? We will explore that. I got to say, what I enjoyed most, without question, was the absolute whiplash from Trump's Truth Social post about me, followed almost immediately by their administration crying about the left's rhetoric.
So Candace Owens just exposed how Trump's inner circle tried to blackmail her with a health photo she'd already shared publicly, revealing Laura Loomer's bizarre control over presidential social media. We're breaking down a failed extortion attempt, toxic mold poisoning recovery, and shocking revelations about who really runs Trump's Truth Social account.
He wrote, Candace Owens' stock, which was never very high, has fallen a long way. Her attack on the First Lady of France is despicable. I believe in this case, without verification, she is an extremely low IQ individual. Look at that photo. Ouch.
The classic blackmail playbook backfired spectacularly here. Intelligence operatives spend months hunting for compromising material, only to discover their target had already posted the photo herself in 2019. It's like trying to extort someone with their own Instagram post. The incompetence is almost impressive.
Right? They send operators out to find your deepest, darkest, most humiliating secrets that you wouldn't want the public to know. And once they discover these secrets, you're kind of presented with really just two options. One, fall into line, deliver the talking points. If you're in Congress, vote how we want you to vote. If you're in media, say what we want you to say. And we'll make sure the public never finds out. Or, here's your other option, don't stand against us and we will reveal all. We will make your lives miserable. That's how it works. That's how it works in politics. And it's incredible to me what people will do, what shame they will put themselves through, and the statements they will make that we know are abundantly untrue, simply to avoid public embarrassment.
This is exactly how Washington operates. Jeffrey Epstein perfected this model. Gather compromising material, then control political decisions through leverage. The fact that someone tried this same playbook in 2024 shows how entrenched these tactics remain in our political system.
So you can imagine how deflated they are going to feel to learn that the photo that they stumbled upon, my deepest, darkest secret, was actually at first shared by me, okay, on my Twitter account. This was not found by some journalist. So back in 2019, I shared that because I'm actually proud of that photo. And so I will briefly tell you the story as to how it came to be, because I was not that well known in 2019, and so you may have missed it.
Transparency becomes armor against manipulation. By sharing her lowest moment publicly, she neutralized any future blackmail attempts. It's brilliant strategic thinking. You can't shame someone who's already been vulnerable about their struggles. The photo lost all leverage the moment she posted it.
I had moved into a brand new, newly built luxury apartment, and one night I received a knock on the door from the building maintenance claiming that there was a system-wide HVAC leak, okay? They needed to then pull the carpet back in a spare bedroom, and it was completely soaked through in the closet. They ran a fan, and they advised us not to go in that room for a couple of days while the fan was running.
Toxic mold exposure causes serious neurological damage that can last years. Studies show mycotoxins cross the blood-brain barrier, causing cognitive dysfunction, memory loss, and severe fatigue. What she's describing, the brain fog, exhaustion, physical symptoms, matches textbook mold poisoning cases perfectly.
I don't know what this is about, thinking that it was separate. Within weeks, I then broke out, and that is what you were seeing, head to toe in eczema, something that I had previously never had. I'm talking giant patches of eczema all over my skin. My hair fell out in clumps, and this is now over a couple of months. And I kid you not, I even got athlete's foot, which is insane. I had 2 asthma attacks that landed me in the hospital, and I had no idea what was happening.
Trump attacking someone for health struggles caused by toxic mold is particularly cruel. Mold-related illness affects millions of Americans in poorly maintained buildings. Using someone's medical trauma as political ammunition crosses every line of basic human decency.
I was a completely changed person instantly. I was exhausted. I was sleeping up to 16 hours a day. The only way that I can describe it to you all is I just suddenly was not myself anymore. And it was as though my brain could not think or process thoughts. Everything that I had to do, even things that I didn't have to do, was overwhelming. It was a task. If somebody texted me, I would cry and I would become overwhelmed because I couldn't think of how to respond back.
The neurological effects she describes are real and devastating. Mycotoxin exposure can cause what doctors call mold rage and severe cognitive impairment. Her recovery to become a major media figure makes this health journey even more remarkable. She literally rebuilt her brain function.
I remember specifically saying, I don't even care about the looks. I just want my mind back. I just want to be able to think again. I just want to be able to write again. I want to be able to have energy again. I want to be Candace. I want to be Candace on the inside. And when it came down to it, I that's all I wanted. Not to look like myself, but to be healthy again.
From near cognitive collapse to running a top global podcast, that transformation is extraordinary. Her spiritual awakening during illness adds another layer. Sometimes our lowest moments become the foundation for our greatest achievements. The vulnerability she's showing here demonstrates real strength.
I chose to share that picture. That's why you have it. That's why you could have somebody put that on an AI cover. I made a decision to share that with the public because it was the lowest moment of my life. And I do not want people digging through to find that and to try to embarrass me. I'm not embarrassed of it. I'm proud of who it made me into today.
This is how you defeat institutional manipulation, radical transparency. By owning her story completely, she stripped away their power to control the narrative. No shadowy operative can threaten you with information you've already shared openly. It's political jujitsu at its finest.
I'm told specifically that she was ranting to people because this is when she was deep in the throes of her psychosis about how she wasn't invited to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which she was already upset about, and because she was out there throwing everything, which we'll get to later, making up rumors about me and my family, she demanded a tweet of support from Trump. In fact, that is what does explain the hint of racism behind the tweet. She is truly manic, and leading up to Trump's tweet, she had been particularly focusing on my race, and I will just let you hear the things that she was saying before Trump dropped the uses rich white men section.
Laura Loomer demanding presidential tweets represents a constitutional crisis. An unelected conspiracy theorist with zero government role shouldn't control official White House communications. If this is accurate, it means our president's social media is being hijacked by fringe activists.
And it was a demand, I want to be clear, that I am told specifically that Susie Wiles was staunchly opposed to. Credit to Susie Wiles. That she came up against that and said this is a very bad idea. And yet Trump's team overall conceded. The question is why? That's a very important question. Why did Donald Trump concede to a lunatic? There has been, of course, a very long-standing rumor that it's because she has blackmail on him, a rumor that I'm reticent to believe, right, because it's Laura Loomer.
The Susie Wiles detail is crucial. Trump's own chief of staff opposed this tweet, yet Loomer's demands overruled professional advice. That power dynamic is deeply concerning. What kind of leverage allows a conspiracy theorist to override the White House chief of staff?
And it's Laura Loomer, so don't just take it with a grain of salt, take it with a grain of crack cocaine, okay? But the point is, we are now able to demonstrate that she's able to force the administration's hand, okay? So do I believe what she is going to allege, whatever they're afraid of? Probably not, if I'm being honest. But is she now threatening them into compliance, or she will make his life a living hell? As she says, I won't stop. I'll post your grandkids, your mother, your father. I won't stop until I get what I want. Probably.
Whether the specific allegations are true matters less than Loomer's demonstrated ability to manipulate presidential communications. She's essentially holding the presidency hostage through threats and harassment. This represents a fundamental breakdown in executive decision-making processes.
So when you're wondering, why did he send out this crazy tweet about Tucker Carlson or Megyn Kelly? If you go onto Laura Loomer's feed, you will see that it's her focus of the week. It's whoever Laura Loomer happens to be attacking. That should be noted. Because there is no way in hell that Donald Trump, who has never, by the way, pushed send on his own tweets, that was the job initially of Dan Scavino during his first term. And now it's been widely reported that on Truth Social, that's the job of Natalie Harp. Trump is not using AI to doctor that. He did not hit send on that. And the question that journalists should be asking is who did it and why?
The pattern is undeniable. Trump's random attacks consistently align with Loomer's weekly targets. Tucker, Megyn Kelly, now this. If Natalie Harp controls Truth Social posting, journalists need to investigate whether Loomer is feeding her content. This demands congressional oversight immediately.
Is the SPLC paying Candace Owens $500K a year to plagiarize David Duke? And I just didn't respond to that because it's just so kooky and so crazy. She doubled down and she said, because she saw me flying with my husband, that David, she rumbled me. I was fleeing the country because of her stunning report on the Southern Poverty Law Center. And due to her reporting, I was fleeing to Rome and taking my money to Rome, right? Candace Owens had to abruptly cancel her show today and travel abroad. She never alerted her audience of her travel plans. Interesting how she's fleeing the country the same day that I reported her Zionist Jewish lawyer dropping her ahead of an important deadline in her lawsuit with the Macrons next week. Remember?
The Southern Poverty Law Center conspiracy theory is clinically delusional. Loomer claimed SPLC paid her $500,000 to spread David Duke talking points, while simultaneously calling her anti-Semitic. The logical contradictions alone prove this person operates outside reality-based thinking.
It was an absolutely beautiful trip. I was confirmed by in the old Latin rite by a cardinal. My priest flew in from London, so that was part of the reason why I had no response to Trump, because I told my priest I would chill, and he was there when that happened and that went down, and he's just given me the best advice. And it was just, I can't even explain to you guys how amazing the trip was and what it felt like, how absolutely I was just nerve-wracked the entire time.
She's getting confirmed in the Latin rite by a cardinal while Loomer spins paranoid fantasies about fleeing the country. The contrast couldn't be starker. One person pursuing genuine spiritual growth, another lost in conspiracy rabbit holes trying to destroy reputations through manufactured scandals.